I got the insane opportunity to drift at the Legends of Drift event at Englishtown, New Jersey, the one that they're filming the Drifter movie with Sun Kang. We got a trailer, my S14, 30 hours across the country. We're gonna be building an S13 as well as getting this car ready to drift at the event. So we got a ton of stuff to do. A lot of things happened in this video. We might wreck, we might run into some people, and my trailer got broken into, so let's get on with the video.
Okay.
All right guys, so red car's loaded up. It's 7 o'clock, we're supposed to be at the track right now. I'm gonna load up the S14. Probably about an hour away of rigging out of here, but we're getting close. So I'm gonna fire this thing up and pull it in the trailer. We made it to the hotel. This one's like, look, somebody's got a semi. Your bag carrier. Car's in ripping. Look at her.
2 suitcases.
Good. Might be in the movie. All right, so we hit the wall a little bit. Kind of a bummer, but you know, the tires, these are some scrubs from Grid Life, and I had them about 20 PSI, so I didn't feel like I had the most grip out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the bumper off, hammer this out a little bit, go from there. first qualifying run. I tried to start off in second gear and then shift into third. I was just talking to LZ. He told me I need to be like top of third, like tons of wheel speed, like 105 mile an hour wheel speed, which top of third right now with my gearing would be like 95. Second gear is like 68 miles an hour. So he's like, you need way more wheel speed, and that's how this tire works. So he gave me some tips. I went down with tire pressure. So I think I got like a 60-some point run. I think average is like 80 or 90 points. So we'll kind of see where we're at with that, but not doing the greatest. Didn't feel the most confident, but I think I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more. I'm gonna stiffen up the front, loosen up the rear. It just felt like it didn't have enough grip to keep me on the track, and I just wanted to flow backwards. So Adam said I basically need to like almost do like a backwards entry in to make it work. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing around with stuff. But this is my second qualifying round, so we don't have too much time to mess around. So this is one of the cars they're using in that Drifter, the movie. So it's pretty cool to see them all set up with the big old camera rigs and all that stuff. They have a lot of production stuff going on around here, which is really rad. This is a car that Drift HQ just recently built. So it's an F31 full like carbon Kevlar unit. You can see you got her aired down. All right, so progress has been made on here. So we ended up sticking a bolt through there, hooking the chain, and then pulling it. I ended up having to cut off a little piece of the bash bar because it was pushed too far in. So you can see, trimmed it out to let it come out. Hammered 2 or 3 hammers on this thing, getting it down, and then the tail light, JB Weld right there. You can see it's curing in the sun. Keep the tail lights intact, I hope. Once those things, probably got another 20 minutes and then I can stick the tail light in. But it's looking a little bit better. This piece was pushed in quite a bit. Zip tied all of this because it tore off the whole piece. Like the mounting tab, tore that off. So plastic piece is ripped, which is fine. OEM bumper, pretty much ready to go. I definitely goofed on that run. I literally got a 7-point run. And it's because I didn't listen to anybody. I tried to do the run in second gear. I just didn't have enough momentum for that first corner, and it just set me up for failure for the whole entire rest of the thing. So I qualified 28th out of 29th. It's weird, but we're going against Chris Knapp. He's one of the guys that who actually runs this track or is part of it, and so he has a lot of laps here. He literally, this is his track essentially. So hopefully everything goes good. Hopefully we could do some good tandems and not pack this thing in the trailer today. It'd be cool to compete tomorrow. So it's getting a little bit close. Tail light's almost done. All right, so we're getting ready to do our first battle. So it's 2JS14 versus a 3UZ IS300. And this is Chris Knapp. So he basically runs the track. So this is his track. It's his home track. So he probably has more laps here than probably anybody, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we'll just see how we do. I'm gonna leave it in third. I'm not gonna do the whole switch into second thing unless I feel like I need to. But I'm chasing first and then leading second. Should be okay, I guess, but we'll see how it goes.
Looks like Knapp is definitely more comfortable when it comes to tandem. Bang, right on that, and that was absolutely flawless on the inside clip. And as here, Jameson has dropped back a little bit here in that X chassis, transitioning past the finish line. Yeah, Jameson having his own, but Knapp is adapting really well to it. Yeah, this is a hard act to follow here for for Knapp. The way Jameson is leading, very shallow on all of the outside zones. Unfortunately, looks like Chris, when you're talking about the temperature in the car ripping up, I think that's really wreaked havoc on Jameson's setup. And Knapp was just trying to salvage somewhat of what he could without causing any damage, but I assume you guys know the outcome here. Let's make it official. Chris Knapp gets the win. Chris Knapp gets the win unanimously. Congratulations to It's Knapp time.
All right guys, so we are back here in Colorado after that long 30+ hour journey and getting all of the tools that I had in the trailer stolen in Indianapolis, but we had an issue with the truck.
Real pressure issues with the truck. Don't know what's going on. Doing some weird stuff.
Which was surging. We ended up riding the scooter in the morning to the Ford dealership. I got a fuel rail pressure sensor that fixed the surging as well as the fuel rail. It's like a little regulator that goes on the end of the fuel rail. Replaced both those sensors in the parking lot. Didn't have any issues with it the rest of the trip. Some unfortunate damage happened to the S13 along the whole journey. So obviously when the guys were pulling out all my tools, when they're stealing them at the thing, they scratched up a little bit of this fender, and then the intercooler got knocked off and actually landed on the hood and damaged that. So I have this front little piece off, and we're gonna work on making sure that we get the right paint match for this thing and getting that sprayed probably within the next day or so. But we need to talk about my driving. So the S14, I think I let it down because I didn't have enough time to prep this thing. Initially, I wanted to put another transmission in it because I cannot shift this thing from first to second to third to fourth, whatever, in any sort of RPM. So this transmission has been with this car since I put the 2JZ in here 9 years ago. I've beat the crap out of it and it's taken a lot of abuse. Now the car's making a little bit more power. It could be a clutch issue, could be an alignment issue, could be a synchro issue, but it definitely needs some attention. I just didn't have time. I thought initially we were going to be able to potentially pull the transmission out at Tommy's shop. We ended up spending most of the time working on the S13 over there, which if you guys haven't gotten in there for a chance to win that thing yet, it's freaking super sick. The SR20 fully rebuilt it, forged pistons, rods, sleeves. It's gonna be a really spicy setup. So if you guys haven't got some entries, grab some entries for a chance to win that thing. We're gonna paint the stuff in the front and get it looking dialed in. But we thought we were gonna be able to maybe pull the transmission off, check the throwout bearing, check the alignment of everything. Before we went to the event. We just didn't have time. So I wasn't able to aggressively get to that first zone. So I ended up leaving it in second gear for practice. That was no good. In third gear, it was just hard to shift. I started off some of the runs in second gear. I was able to like hit the rev limiter, but then I basically fell completely out of boost and then went into third gear and then kind of like clutch kicked it at the wall, and it just wasn't a good aggressive. That's why I qualified 28th out of 29 drivers, which freaking sucks. But yeah, I did a lot better at the track last year or 2 years ago when I was able to shift it a lot better. Yeah, S14 definitely needs some attention, considering doing an 8 HP swap, which is the BMW 8-speed ZF. It shifts fast, similar to a dual clutch, but it has a torque converter, so it's a lot easier to drive, and you can actually do the clutch by wire with and basically give yourself a clutch pedal again. It's kind of like the poor man's quick change, so I think I should be able to do that whole swap for like under $5,000 versus I was talking to LZ. He recommended to do a dog box transmission and a quick change rear end, which the cheapest I could probably do that's around 14,000, but possibly up to 20,000. So if anybody has an S14 quick change 2JZ dog box setup, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm probably going to end up doing an 8 HP in this car because the gearing has just really been messing with me for the past couple years. I would just like to mess with that. I was also talking to Duarte at the event. He has E92, like a green one, two-door that he's had the 8 HP. He's done 9 events in it this year. A lot of the guys in Drift Masters in Europe actually run that same transmission. And I was talking to Greg from Turbolamic, and he agreed. We should just put an 8 HP in this thing. So we might be doing some stuff with that in the future. The engine was performed flawlessly. The truck did good, other than the issue with the fuel pressure sensor. Other than that, the trip was fairly successful. Definitely cost a lot of money in fuel and time and parts, and then having to switch last minute from doing the R33 as the next giveaway to the S13. I think so much stuff happened in this past 3 weeks. It's been absolutely crazy. Stole the engine out of the Datsun. It is now in there, but it's fully rebuilt and everything ready to go. We're still planning on doing a giveaway on the R33, which you can see we welded in a new apron because we found some crash damage up in the front. So there's been a lot of things that have happened in the past month, and I appreciate you guys kind of sticking with me and staying patient, but lots of videos to come. We're planning on doing some stuff with the 14, the 33, the 13, and then possibly some stuff with the Datsun. But appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you guys for the support, and make sure you grab some entries for a chance to win this thing. Also, we have a manual swap for the 33, so we got plenty of stuff to do. Appreciate you guys watching. See you later.